Welcome to the first episode of the first ever podcast from New Visions Charter High School for the Humanities 4 Are We There Yet podcast. Humanities 4 is located in Rockaway Park, New York. We are artist scholars who analyze global issues impacting humanity for the purpose of becoming an engaged community inspired to create. In our podcast, we hope to discuss topics such as sharing stories from remote learning and living during the pandemic, what it means to us to be an artist scholar during this time, and reactions and reflections to current events, as well as what we will most likely and definitely be discussing, our first ever senior capstone projects. Interested students, staff, and families should contact me, Mr. Ramsey, to set up a time to record. Our music engineer, Mr. Williams, is point for our video and audio editing. I, myself, Mr. Ramsey, am one of the first 13 adults who founded our school in 2017 under the leadership of Principal Hannah Keene and the New Visions Charter High School Network. Today on Are We There Yet podcast, I'm speaking with founding artist scholar, Rachel Todd. She is a senior this year. Rachel?
Man, shoot, it's been a wild ride. Man, I don't even know where to start.
Well, I would say the best thing I would say is, what was the biggest challenge you had in 2020? What do you feel?
I think the biggest challenge I had was maturing, because I feel like from January to now, I feel like I've grown more than I have in a long time. It just shot up exponentially because of, there were a lot of things I lost. I had to lose some friends. I lost some people in my church from Corona, people in my family. And it was just rough. But, out of it, I had to learn how to become more independent. I had to learn not to be so naive sometimes. I had to open up my innocent little eyes to the world because I was literally forced to.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, that's something that's huge, and I really do thank you for sharing. That's a very big ask of you, but also at the same time, I appreciate the vulnerability and the transparency. Again, I think your maturity and your growth, somebody else being able to see that and witness that, all that you've been through, I think you're going to inspire a lot of people. So I think on that next note, I would like to say, what do you think your biggest grow was? What do you think the biggest glow was of your 2020? You glue up. How'd you glow up?
Yeah. I think, man, because I was reflecting on all of this too. Just I think the way I see myself, self-image, that's what's my biggest glow up. Sorry, I gotta close this door because
it's all good. Yeah, close the door to 2020. We're in 2021 now. 2020. There you go.
Yes. Get it.
Oh no, please don't fall over.
That's my karate classes in 7th grade coming out of me.
Oh, see now we get some extra behind the scenes stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be great for the people. They will not mess with Miss Todd. Don't do
it.
Wow.
I still don't know how to fight, but I know how to count to 10 in Japanese.
We'll cut it out so that way they don't know and they can still be like, oh, she got a black belt. You got a black belt as far as I know.
Yeah. Definitely not a white belt. I definitely was still a white belt about 5 rows were moving on.
Well,
I still definitely
as big of a fashion faux pas as a white belt might seem, I would like to add more to the conversation. Aside from a blow up or reflections or anything like that, what do you feel you would like to speak about or talk about going into the new year? I mean, there's so much that's happened last year, but I feel like you have a lot of opinions and thoughts about topics.
I don't know. I don't want to be a pessimist. I really think that 2021 is going to be just maybe it's going to be a new chapter, but it's still going to be 2020 part 2. Because I feel like a lot of people, right? It's yeah, it's a new year, whatever. The earth made another revolution around the sun. But we still have racial issues that we have. We still have inequality. We still, like, even though we have Biden in office, right? We
Oh,
still, like, he wasn't our first choice. We still have to work with him and, force him to give us what we want because, he's not Bernie, you know.
well, we're feeling burned about that. Yeah, I feel bad, but at the same time, I feel like just like your reflection on last year, it shouldn't just have to be forcing. I feel like we have to adapt and be creative about these new challenges before us. I mean, as much as it does seem kind of unfortunate that we didn't get the choice that we wanted, sometimes that's life. We don't always get what we want, but we got to make do and we got to
Yeah.
adapt and we got to make it better, make it work for us.
But that's really unfortunate.
For you though,
Huh?
how are you gonna make 2021 work for you though?
I think just working remotely, huh?
Yeah,
Let's see.
that is one thing I wanted to touch on. You said you started a job too. This is like your not a first job, but you were working remote. You were trying to find extra stuff to do. Like,
Well, you see, the thing about that is that, like, I had my short corps job or whatever, and I was trying to find another job online, but it's like hard to find them. And I'm afraid to like go out and like work at a real job because like it's unsafe, I might bring coronavirus like home to my family, my peoples, and like now I'm not trying to make anyone sick because my grandma's old and but yeah. And but I think I'll make 2021 work for me by what would I do? I haven't really thought about that because mostly I've been like focusing on like college. I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna, live my life. But what if, the corona extends into, this fall, and I'm not gonna be able to do the things I was planning to do? Huh. I think I'll make it work for me by just appreciating like what I have because yeah, like in the beginning of the pandemic and when I had to stay home, I was like, oh, I'm so bummed. I don't want to stay home. Like because like every day I was going outside, I was at school and then I was at an after school program and then like the earliest I got home was like 6:30. If not, I got home around like 8 and then I like did my homework and then I went to sleep and then I got up at, 5 o'clock again, left the house before everyone like was awake and then,
job.
So
It's tough.
yeah.
Like you hold down so much and all that you did, especially even before the pandemic. I mean, kudos to you. Definitely. I think we should at least name that in that moment. Like you just, round of
I
applause.
try.
You try, but you do. And I think that's also something that shouldn't be taken lightly. Like I'll always say this to you guys, especially and ladies, but I'm very proud of all of the things that you are. Like, everything that you guys have been pitted against and has been part of you. You guys are making it through the fire and the flames. You're about to graduate. I'm a little sad.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Like this is like wild. I'm just happy to hear that you're making the most of it, and I really do hope that the endeavors that you have in the fall come to fruition. But I feel like what you're doing right now is going to be big for a lot of people, not just yourself, but a lot of other people. And I respect it, I really do.
I don't know who, but
That one.
if I can impact other people in my life, I guess that'll make me feel better about myself because I'll be like, yay, I help people. I'm a good person.
Well, yes, you definitely should go with that.
So basically, I just want to like, you know, if anybody like listens to it, right? I just want to like bring to light some of the things that like affect, people who are marginalized, you know, because it's like I remember having like a conversation, right, about like feminism or whatever, and like with this boy, right? I'm not gonna say any names, and he was like, "Oh, like something about." Oh, you're just a crazy feminist. We don't need that or anything. And I'm like, yeah, we do. And it's like they don't understand because they haven't experienced it.
Very true. Very true.
It's like with white people, how white people don't understand racism because they haven't really experienced it. Like men don't understand like what women mean when, you know, you say something about catcalling because they haven't experienced it. Women don't like, you know, have that okay in society to like go up and harass men like that. And like this is just bringing me flashbacks because I remember, wow, I remember in like theater class. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent.
The tangents work on a podcast. That's the best tangent to go off on.
Okay.
Podcast or pod class. Actually, no. Anyway, as you were saying,
Like I had a like we were working on To Kill a Mockingbird for the play. You know, the play that I did that was really terrible, but I tried my best. So you know the scene where, huh?
You showed up. That's what matters. Sorry.
I showed up. But you know the scene where like Mayella accuses Tom Robinson of like, you know, taking advantage of her and stuff. And then, you know, this boy was like, oh, this is like and now when like women come out about like sexual like harassment and, you know, sexual assault and all of that, like they falsely accuse men, and like no they don't, because there are many reasons why women, you know, even take like 20-30 years to come out, because there are all these like societal pressures that force women to stay silent, plus the trauma of like the experience altogether. And it's like they don't understand. And like when I tried to explain like to him that like stuff like catcalling and all of that isn't okay, he told me to shut the F up. And yeah.
I'm sorry, just to interject. That's a wild way to kind of like voice your ignorance.
That is wild.
Someone's, you know, issues that they're affected by. Like you don't. I feel like if we were able to, it would be a conversation to be had by all the parties that were involved. I mean, I feel like getting somebody.
I would not like to like. I'm fine. I would not like to have a conversation with them.
Well, I respect that. I holistically.
I don't think they could be. I don't think I could like a conversation could be the one. One conversation could be the thing that could change it, because like yeah, just like how one podcast can't be like this. You know the I can't think of the word. You know
the end all to rectify everything.
Yeah, I can't be the one to like change their mindset, but it's still an idea. And if you like plant the idea in their head and then you build upon the idea, maybe not you, but like someone else, maybe it can change their mindset. Because, you know, I think that's what happened with like me. How do I explain this? It's like, you know, how some feminists like bash women for being like too girly or something, or like, yeah, you know, it's like that's not real feminism, because feminism is about the power of choice.
And I like, would you say inclusion of everyone within that?
Yeah, inclusion of everyone. Like anybody can be, you know.
Just go back to the point that you were making about that kind of pick me or like that kind of exclusion kind of vibe. I feel like touching back on what you were saying earlier, where it won't take one podcast to change somebody's mind, but I feel like what you were speaking to is creating that narrative, starting that dialogue, and
Yeah.
those people join the conversation so they can join and be allies, or at least, correct their ignorance in a way. And
Yeah.
something that can happen even with one person or even that person that felt a way about, what you are about. I think that's really, really, really great. That's the impact and inspiration that I feel like you can bring to this world. You have it in you, Miss Todd. There's
Yeah.